Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this Essentials Kit in a box. Let me show you what's inside. It has compartments inside to hold a hand sanitizer. This is the pocket back from Bath & Body Works, a chapstick or lip balm, and Altoids mints. And I do want to show you that you can also fit the Nivea lip balm as well. This would be a great little pick-me-up gift for teachers, healthcare workers, daycare workers, you name it. It's such a wonderful essentials kit to give to so many people who could use it. And I want to show you how fun and easy this is to make. We're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of Night of Navy cardstock. And what I want to show you is that we can make the box and the inserts out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 if we strategically cut the cardstock. So I do have this template that I will include a picture of on my blog, but I'm going to show you how to cut the cardstock with very little waste. Okay, so the first piece that we want to cut is at 6 3/8 of an inch, but you'll notice that 6 3/8 is over here where the joint is for the extended arm. So instead, I'm going to cut off 4 5/8. And we're going to put this piece to the side. So that's going to leave us with a 6 3/8 inch by 8.5 inch piece of cardstock. And then I just want to make sure that we cut this down to 8 inches. So we're just going to cut off that 1/2 of an inch, and then you can either discard this piece or add it to your scraps. So then we're left with 6 3/8 by 8 inch piece of cardstock. With the 4 5/8 by 8.5 inch piece, I'm going to turn this landscape, and we're going to cut this at 2.5. And then we want to cut the long way to 4 1/8. So then we're left with a 2.5 by 4 1/8 inch piece. Again, about 1/2 of an inch that we can discard or add to our scraps. And then finally with this piece, this is now at 6 inches by 4 5/8, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 2 3/8. So now we have a 2 3/8 by 6 inch piece. These are the 3 pieces that we'll need. This piece we're going to save to punch out our pretty label punch, as well as an additional die cut for the box. Okay, starting with the 6 3/8 by 8 inch piece of cardstock, we're going to score this at 1 inch and 5 3/8. Then I'm going to rotate it and score this at 1 inch, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. Next, the 2 3/8 inch by 6 inch piece. I'm going to put this on the long side, and we're going to score this at 2 5/8, 3.5, and 4 3/8. And then finally, the 2.5 by 4 1/8 inch piece. On the long side, we're going to score this at 3/4, 1 5/8, and 2.5. Okay, starting with the largest piece, I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish on all the score lines. And let me bring in the template. I'm going to turn it sideways, and what we're going to do is cut up all of the vertical score lines, stopping at the horizontal score line on both the top and the bottom. All right, so first I'm going to make those cuts all the way up. And then we have these little square tabs that I'm going to come in and notch slightly so that the box goes together nicely. Like so. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, now all the cutting is done. So we're just going to pick one of the short sides, and I'm going to take the 3/4 inch circle punch, and we're just going to punch out a little circle notch here. I'm going in about 1/3 of the way into the circle, and then I'll punch. And then I've noted on the template, so wherever that circle punch is, the closest rectangle section is where we're going to add our designer series paper. So I have a piece of 2 3/8 inch by 4 1/4 inch needlepoint Nook designer series paper. I love this paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. And I made sure that the pattern was going up and down along the long side, and we're going to adhere that right to this section here, closest to that little finger notch. It's easier to adhere this before we put the box together. Now we're going to look at this as the lid of the box. So we're going to start focusing on this bottom section without the designer series paper. So I'm first going to start with each tab, and we're going to start to glue the box together. I'm going to take this score line and meet it up with this cut edge to form a box corner, like so. And then I'm just going to work my way around, again, putting glue here, making that box corner. And we want to make sure that this box base is a complete box. So then these two middle tabs, we're going to glue into the box base. All right, and then the remaining tab are going to glue into the box lid. Okay, now the outside of our box is ready to go, and this should close nicely. Got that little finger notch to make it easy to open. Okay, now we've got our two smaller pieces that we added 3 score lines to. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is do a mountain fold on the center score line and burnish, and then valley folds on the other 2 score lines and burnish. So then kind of what we end up with is a W shape like so. Now you can add adhesive here if you want to, but you don't need to. So I just want to show you that's going to fit right inside the base of the box. Then the smaller piece, again, mountain fold for that middle score line, valley folds for the other 2. And we have that little W shape, or W this way, and then this piece will fit in this direction. So we have kind of the segmented box base. Again, I'm not adding any glue. You don't need to, but you certainly can if you want to. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my essentials here. So we've got the hand sanitizer, the mints, and then a lip balm or chapstick. That's how the box goes together. So now let's go ahead and decorate this. We're going to be using the needle and thread bundle and the sentiment, "People like you make the world a better place." And then 2 of the dies from the Needlepoint Elements die set. Okay, so first I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Night of Navy onto Very Vanilla. And then using the Big Shot, we're first going to line up this beautiful die here that's just going to make some stitching marks. I'm going to center that around the sentiment. And then with our scrap piece of Night of Navy that we had left over, I'm just going to put this die at an angle just to try to maximize the space, and we'll run that through the Big Shot. Okay, so this is what's so cool about this die. It adds the little stitching edge. Then we can come in with the Pretty Label punch and go ahead and punch that out. I love how these go together. It's genius. Punch that out, and then we have that beautiful little detail on the sentiment. Then with our scrap piece of Night of Navy, I'm going to go ahead and punch out another Pretty Label. And if you're lucky, you can get 2 of them out of that, but it's going to be a really close call. If not, just grab a scrap piece of Night of Navy, but we do want 2 of those. And I'll pop out this die cut here. That is beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and begin to assemble this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some liquid glue, and I'm just going to put it along the center of this die cut piece. And we're going to go ahead and center the sentiment over that. And the liquid glue gives us a little bit of wiggle room to get it just right. Then I'm going to take one of these pieces, I'm going to cut it right up the middle long ways. And then we're going to go ahead and add some glue just along the bottom. We're going to use that to kind of add a little bit of a frame around our sentiment. Again, that liquid glue kind of helps us get this right into place. There's one end, and then we'll do the same thing to the bottom. And what's helpful about adding this longer die cut piece first is that it kind of hides that seam along the back. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and take our Very Vanilla lace trim. I love this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and take this additional Pretty Label punch. I'm just going to grab a strip of tear and tape adhesive to kind of run along the center. this will help the lace just to grab onto it. And then I'm just going to center that on this box here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the lace around the box. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. This does not need to be pretty because we're actually going to go ahead and hide it, and I'll show you how we do that. But I'm pulling it snug, also trying to kind of center the lace on the edges of that pretty label. And then we're just going to go ahead and take this and add liquid glue to the back side. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of center it over that little punch out, also centering these ends over the lace, gently pressing into place, but then we're going to go ahead and slide this off. Then I can come to the back and just burnish that really well so that adheres and hides the ends of our lace, like so. So because this lace has a little bit of give or stretch to it, it should wrap around the box very easily. Like so. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple of pearls. And voila, there is our essentials kit in a box. I absolutely love what this looks like and what's stored inside. Again, what a wonderful little thank you gift or pick-me-up for all kinds of professions. I love things like this. These would even be great for gifts at on stage if you're a demonstrator, to your demonstrator friends. Just love it. I love this essentials box. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post, which will have all project measurements, supplies, and pictures of the templates. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. I have options to subscribe to both my blog updates as well as my newsletter, and I'd love to welcome you as a new subscriber. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in earning a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, I'd love to have you join my team of Paper Pixies. And you can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join. If you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.